let's move on. So, with all that in mind, before we really deep dive, because we're talking about relationships, right? Toxic relationships. I want to give and she has no idea. I don't even know if she's watching. She usually is. I want to give a special shout out and acknowledgement to my wife. I want to give a special acknowledgement and shout out to my 40-year-old. She took this on her 40th birthday. My 40-year-old hot mama. Rita Ree, my baby. I took the weekend off largely from content creation, and I spent the overwhelming majority of my time with my wife and my daughter. Now, a lot of you, some of you are not familiar with my relationship, but let me bring you up to speed. I met Rita in high school, and we are 40 years old today. We got married when we were 22 years old, and we've been married for 18 and a half years. Long time. 2004, June. That's when I got married. I told her that she was going to be my wife back in high school. I reinforced it once we graduated. And then I was a man of my word and I made her my wife. And since I've gotten on the internet, I've told you guys, I said, yo, I'm never getting divorced. Ever. Now, Rita does not get talked about often at times. Although I reference her, she does not get talked about often at times because I've seen enough and I've lived enough of my life on the internet to understand that the safest place for my wife and my daughter is offline. Doesn't mean they can't have an Instagram. Doesn't mean that they can't appear in my videos or whatever. But I'm fiercely protective of my wife's mental state. I don't want my wife to be visible. Doesn't mean that women can't come on live stream and do what it is that they do. As a matter of fact, I'm an advocate for it because I want to hear different perspectives from different people. But I'm fierce when it comes to protecting my wife's mental health, keeping her in her bubble, and keeping her feet off the ground. Her feet off the ground, meaning that I never want to let her feet touch the ground. She will always be taken care of, loved, and her future is secure. If anything was to ever happen, let's just say hypothetically that we got divorced, which will never happen, but let's just play the game. She will be taken care of for the rest of her life. You've seen her come on these live streams sometimes, especially when we had the marriage series. I might bring it back for the Patreon. But when we had the marriage series, she said, yo, if we ever got divorced, I wouldn't ask you for nothing. I don't need nothing. I'm not trying to take half or none of that. And that baffles people. It baffles the manosphere. It baffles people that feel like and advocate against marriage. It completely confounds people how Anton can come on the internet, talk so much shit, be around beautiful women on a regular basis, get money, resources, and still have a wife that is so submissive, in the gym every day, phenomenal, perfect mother, and absolutely an advocate for my success. Prays for me every day, makes sure that I'm taken care of, ensures my success, works for me, puts herself down so she can esteem me. And this is one of the reasons why I do it for her. If anything, if she asked me tomorrow, I would quit this shit. If she asked me tomorrow, I would quit it. You know why? Because she is the only person in my life outside of my daughter. Let's remove my daughter from this. The only person in my life that I've known over a period of a decade that has never turned on me. Never went against their word. Never got out of control. Never moved as a modern woman. Always have looked at me as her king, has worshiped me, worshiped the ground that I walked on, held me down when we went broke and moved back into my mother's basement. The queen, my baby. I adore her. I love her. I never really acknowledge and talk about her online again because I love to protect her more than I do like to like, exalt her in front of everybody else. I champion her. I make sure she's taken care of. Does that mean that we've never went through? Oh, we went through a lot of shit, especially when we were broke, because it was difficult. We was used to having resources. I was making a lot of money when I was younger, and we went through a lot. But I'm just going to tell you, marriage ain't hard. It's blissful. It's beautiful. If everybody plays their role and everybody do the right thing, it could be awesome. Will you go through things? Absolutely. Is every marriage the exact same, or is there a blueprint for you to be able to be successful? 100% is a blueprint, but it's going to be ebbs and flows. But it gets better. It gets easier. It gets more blissful. You have to lean into being the best version of you, understanding that you're going to be the best version for her. There are men out here that are real men, and they're not necessarily on social media, and they're not always celebrated. But let me help you to understand something. When you find phenomenal women, you take care of them. You acknowledge them, you celebrate them, and you make sure that they treat it like little babies. I just want to say that I love her. I absolutely adore her. She has been with me since my first video on these platforms, and she will be here with me until my last breath. She is a reflection of me. She is absolutely everything that I've could have ever dreamed of in a woman. I love you. I appreciate you. You are my heart. You are my heart. I can't wait to spend the next 50 years with you. All right? So I just wanted to say that I know it's probably not the most popular thing to say on the internet, because y'all want me to kill these chicks. I can't do that. The only thing that I can do is show you my authentic life. And I'm an equal accountability partner. When people do things wrong, I hold them accountable. And when people do things right, I got to give them the credit. So I just want to give her credit. She's absolutely awesome. So now, with all of that being said, make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. It's about to get hot because we're about to jump into this Tasha K. The Truth video. Let me highlight Lil Black Duck says, wife and I were vendors at an event in Hofstra University this weekend. We're putting Jeweled Alchemy on the map. We wouldn't be here without you and the Bag Chaser. Salute to you and Mrs. Rita. Shout out to all of my Bag Chasers. When we do these meetups, Rita be friends and Rita be the superstar, and people don't even be checking for me. They be there for Rita. Shout out to Lil Black Duck 2001. I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking out with me. And congratulations.